fact, there exists the possibility for these for these lands to be reclaimed. That is the mudflats to be reclaimed. I'm just going to go out a little bit on the groin here and show you how far it goes. All right, so I'm walking out on the ground. Behind these bushes is the construction, the building. So there's a building behind these bushes, as I was saying. But you can reclaim land. All of this land can be reclaimed for construction. This is about 100, this groin that we're walking on is at about 100 meters out into the Atlantic Ocean, and there's a channel that runs beside it because the pumping station, as you can see the pumping station exists, that pumps water out of the sea into this channel, and that water has created the channel beside on either side of the groin. But what you can see is that the land beyond the channel, the mud flats, are fairly stable. These mud flats actually grow and sink over time, but the level of these mud flats has only grown over the last decade or so, and this is what it looks like on the other side. So all of this land, you can see the building, that is huge structure hidden by all of these new mangrove trees. That was once a nightclub, right? A large nightclub, and now, as you can see out here, the nightclub has been vacated. The government, I think it was the previous coalition government, condemned this land and evicted the residents because it was illegal to build on this structure. But like I said, it's land that is stable. That structure has been up there for more than a decade, and there are other structures hidden behind these trees. All of this land exists on the Atlantic Ocean. In other words, we're now behind a seawall. As you can see, way back in the distance, that's where we've come from. The seawall is, let me see if I can zoom in on the seawall. The seawall is over there. You can barely see the pumping station and the wooden stage that was built, red and white structure. But this is where we are. We are beyond the seawall, walking out on the groin into the Atlantic Ocean. And like I said, this groin is about 100 meters out. It's 100 meters out onto the sea. And I'm going to show you how much land can be reclaimed. So even without building it up, without fetching sand out here, all of this land already exists. So what if they had built this new hotel out here, just put up another retaining wall, another seawall at the end of this groin, and simply built up the land, perhaps another 10 feet higher, with sand that is trucked in from the interior, and build your hotel resort out here. in the sea. Wouldn't that be much more impressive than reclaiming, than simply confiscating the Guyana National Service ground? That is simply the argument that we're making in the previous sequence of videos. We're saying that come out here, see, all of this land belongs to no one. This land is just mudflats, right? You can see from this distance, that's the dish at the Earth station. My zoom is not powerful enough to get in closer, but that's the Earth station. That's the seawall. You can see the mangrove. That's the building, the nightclub that exists, that was built more than a decade ago and that is now vacated, it's now empty. That's Kitty. You can see the roofs of the buildings in Kitty. And all the way out to Sobrianville. Right, all of this land exists as mudflats in the sea, and even in high tide, even at high tide, most of this land is not covered, not inundated with water. So that's what we're saying, guys. We're saying that there are other options available to the government of Guyana to utilize land in the Atlantic Ocean, land that is currently mudflats. Right, all of this land is mudflats. We're getting to the end of the groin here. This is the end of the groin. The rock here is covered with moss and therefore slippery. So I wouldn't recommend that anyone comes out here unless you were assuming the risk, right? So this is the end of this groin, and all of this land belongs to no one, right? All of this land exists on the other side of the seawall. This is the mudflat, right? These are the mudflats of Guyana. I introduced them in a previous video where I made the same argument. You can see in the distance, that's the Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center, and beyond that, that's the Marriott Hotel. And then if you go all along the coast, you can see the sweep of the seawall, and this is zoomed in, right? So all of this land, let me show you the full extent of it without the zoom. All of this land exists for construction, and you can build a hotel or a resort, right? This is all we're saying, guys. This is the land of Guyana. All of this is free land. So there's really no reason to confiscate the parklands in Georgetown to build hotels. That's what's up, guys. That's what I'm saying out here at the mudflats. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. In the comments below, tell me what you think about this suggestion about using the mudflats to build a coastal resort. In other words, you can build on these mudflats for miles, at least a mile out to the sea, into the sea, and for miles along the coast. Make it unnecessary to destroy the parks, the recreational parklands of Georgetown. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening here in Georgetown, Guyana. Later!